I recently received an email from a company called Clever Canadian, and it's a very popular website. After what I saw in that email, I think it's also a very, very corrupt website because in this video, I'll be exposing some of the corruption that's happening in the fitness industry. So, what's going on here? Here's what we're going to cover. The initial email that was sent to me by Clever Canadian, I'll expose to you without exposing the representative's name. Then I'll share my thoughts on this initial email and a word-by-word copy of our email exchanges. Before we jump in, who am I? My name is Igor. I'm the author of 13 books on exercise and nutrition, including 4 Amazon bestsellers. As well, I've been a personal trainer since 2006 and teaching my methodology to other personal trainers since 2013 by speaking at some of the world's largest personal training conferences. Lastly, I've done over 400 presentations to some of Canada's largest corporations, including IBM, Bosch, American Express, Investors Group, University of Toronto, and others. If you want to learn when I publish more videos on exercise and nutrition, click like and subscribe to my channel. So here was the initial email from a representative of Clever Canadian. Hi, Igor. Thank you for expressing your interest in partnering with us and having your business featured on our recommended list of the top personal trainers in Toronto. Now, here were my thoughts. First of all, he says expressing your interest. I've never heard of them, so I never expressed interest. And second of all, here's what he published. For a brief overview of how our company operates, we are a review website that collaborates with companies and businesses that are worthy of recommendation, just like Fitness Solutions Plus. Now, well, I'll take the compliment that you think I'm worthy of recommendation, but we don't know each other. I've never heard of you. I don't think you've looked at my website. You're not a client. So how do you know I'm worthy of recommendation? Moving on. Here is what he says. To maintain the integrity of the listing and generate valuable leads for our esteemed partners, and due to its commercial value, we charge a minimal fee. We're delighted to offer you the top 1 spot. Here's what I thought in response to that. First of all, the top 1 spot, you're not a client, you've never heard of me, but you think I'm the top personal trainer from all of these companies. And also, what integrity? If I have to pay for this spot, there is no integrity. Here is what he continued with. In the upcoming weeks, we will be launching our paid partnership program, which will highlight and feature our top partners during offline and online surveys and events with our network of influencers. Now, here's my thought. You're going to recruit, first of all, you don't know me or any of the people on your list. And yet, you're going to recruit other people who don't know me or anybody else on the list to shout out about how good these companies and these personal trainers are. That hardly seems legitimate. Here was my response to this initial email. Hi, person's name. It hardly seems legitimate to pay for this. Will the public know that every spot on that list was paid for? Of course, you want to know when something's being paid for. Here was his response. I completely understand your concern. Rest assured, the public will not be informed that every spot on the list was paid for. And I want to emphasize the word every spot on the list, not some spots, but every spot. Here were my thoughts. First of all, isn't that illegal? Aren't you obligated to disclose when something is paid for or when something is not paid for? Unless if you're not disclosing that it's paid for, the assumption is that it's not paid for and therefore legitimate. Of course, again, he says every spot on the list was paid for. He continues. Our aim is to provide the best possible exposure for our clients, and sometimes that includes paying for spots. My thoughts, again, sometimes. In the previous sentence, he says every spot was paid for, and now he says sometimes that includes paying for spots. So does that imply that sometimes the spots are not paid for? Well, no, every spot on there is paid. Moving on. However, the payment or the amount is not our sole basis for ranking our partners. We have our criteria for ranking, in which you can see on our review page in the link below. So I investigated. I'm like, oh, that's good. So it's not just you pay money and then you're automatically in, but they actually investigate you to make sure that you're worthy. Well, let's see what their criteria are. Criteria number 1, qualifications. Now, that seems legitimate, but here's the thing. The only qualification on my website is my kinesiology degree. I don't list any of my other qualifications on there. I went to the website of the top listed personal trainers on their review site, and their qualifications aren't listed there either. In other words, there is no that's just the illusion of quality control. There is no quality control. It's just, do you have the money to pay me? Next, criteria number 2 is approach. In other words, they say we based this on the professionalism, guidance, and motivation that trainers give clients to ensure full support. Here's the thing: to learn about somebody's approach, how would you know unless you've actually bought at least 5-10 sessions with lots of different trainers? You just don't know their approach by reading their website. Next, availability, reasonable, that's easy to find out with a simple Google search. And finally, fees. Here's the thing: 4 of the 6 trainers on their site don't disclose their fees. The only 2 of the 6 that do disclose their fees only say the starting price, what's the lowest price that they can expect, because it goes up from there. In other words, these criteria are only to give the public the illusion that there's any kind of quality control behind this. There is zero quality control. Every spot on that list is paid for. So my message is buyer beware. Now, I want to ask you, what do you think about all of this? Is this legitimate? Is this truly corrupt? Comment below and let me know.